Hi guys, it's Sister Folk here, and I just wanted to go over a few things that will hopefully help you all improve your grades in the course on this final print ad, okay? So let me see, I just need to pull this up. All right, so here's what I want to go over. I've been looking over everyone's ads. Here, I'll give you something interesting to look at. I've been looking over everyone's ads, and I have noticed some recurring issues. So opposed to typing the same exact feedback tailored specifically for you, for those of you who did not opt into my video critique, I'm going to be creating this one video. And then hopefully all you will watch it and then apply what you need to your ads. But this is based on all of the ads that I have been looking at over the past day or two. So it's still pretty specific to your designs, even though I'm not talking to you personally. I may be mentioning something that appears in your ad, okay? So hopefully this will help over the next week as you're working on finalizing those ads. So first of all, I want to talk about type. I'm seeing a lot of certain, here I'm going to do this so we don't have too much distraction. I'm seeing a lot of fonts that I kind of am struggling with. So I'm going to say no to Algerian, Apple Chancery, Impact, and Freestyle Script. Okay? If you're using a font that is one of these, when you're kind of scrolling through downward and you see something that looks drastically different and super cool, if that's one of them you're using, chances are many other students have had the same thought, and many other beginner designers have had the same thought and said, ooh, Bradley Hand looks really different, Broadway looks really different, Brush Script looks really different. But the thing is, that's what everyone else has thought too, that those repeating fonts that we're seeing over here look really different. And the problem is they're very overused. They're instantly going to date your design. Okay, so please, please, please mix it up. Along with that, with typography, remember your contrast is huge. Okay, so sometimes designers are thinking, okay, there's my contrast, right? No, what you want to do is you want the size difference to be huge. All right, so this needs to be your contrast. All right, see how big of a contrast this is with the size? That's what you want. And your body copy and your call to action needs to be small, really small, okay? If you have a fourth of your page dedicated to writing, that's probably too much. If it's more, I'm going to say anything more than a third to a fourth of your page should not be written content. Okay, so let's take a look at these ads. These are ads along the lines of what you want to be doing in terms of creativity. And let me find one. Okay, this one has some written content on it. See how the main impact is visuals, then you have a nice logo, you have a slogan. This could be considered your call to action, and then you would just need to add one extra sentence here. Okay, but I don't want to see ads where it's mainly full of type. Okay, so remember that. That's super important. Something else is text effects. Be very, very careful with drop shadows and bevels, okay? When it comes to drop shadows, there's a rule. The rule is to keep it light and to keep it tight, okay? So what that means is if you are using a drop shadow, you don't want it to be super dark, and you want the shadow to stay very close to the actual letter, okay? The next thing is white space. I'm seeing some ads where every corner is filled with something. You have the slogan in the left-hand corner, the body copy in the right-hand corner, the slogan or the logo in the bottom, the images taking up the whole page. If that is describing your ad, reconsider the contrast of your typography. Make that written content a lot smaller, except for your slogan. Okay, that's extremely important. All right, now next, if you are using a Photoshop, when you're using your Photoshop selections, you are going to, sorry, this screencast is kind of making it difficult for everything to fit on here. Okay, so Photoshop selections. I'm seeing a lot of fuzzy edges. Zoom in very closely and make sure your edges are not fuzzy. Second thing, we don't want to see any floating bodies or hands. If you have made a selection that involves a person being cut off or a body part being cut off, it needs to continue off the page. Okay, I don't want to see it ending on the page. Let me just glance down here and see if there's any good examples of this. Yes, bam, look at this. Okay, this would look creepy to our brains if this hand floating here at the Oreo ended and then there was still white space after it. We would look at that and psychologically be disturbed. Okay, so if you are cutting off a body part, it needs to go off the page, not be cut off, and then have something else before the end of the page. All right. Oh, here's another good example of that. Gonna move the screencast over again. I see some witch's feet, and they go all the way off the page. Also, just want to say these are definitely embodying that extremely important principle of the assignment, which is something else that people are struggling with. I need more than a clever catchphrase to meet the assignment qualifications. You have to be using two images. You have to be using Photoshop to blend them together symbolically. That can be difficult to understand. What does that even mean? That means this. That means a hard rocking fork. Or this, the laws of gravity. Milk is flowing to that Oreo cookie. Okay, so two images. You have your Oreos and you have your shoes. Putting these two images together to send a message, okay, about their cool Halloween Oreos. All right. Yeah, this is cool too. Coffee inside an alarm clock. That's a great example. The images blended together are speaking for themselves. They're sending a message. And then your written content and your slogan is backing it up. Okay, yeah, this is cool too. See how it has these two, the page kind of working, blending the image with the slogan. So that's what I need to see. If instead of doing that, you just have a clever slogan and an image that relates to your product, say you're selling blankets and you have a person who's sitting on the side of the street wrapped in a blanket and you say 90% warmer than ever, that's not meeting the assignment requirements. Or even if it's more clever than that, because that's pretty boring, right? Warmer than a Tahitian sunset or something, okay? That might be clever, but it's still not meeting the assignment requirements for symbolically blending two images together. That's extremely important, and that is one of the harder things of this assignment to grasp, okay? Then next, be very careful your writing is not too close to the edge. I'm seeing that happen on quite a few of these. Your Facebook ad can include less. You do not have to include your body copy on your Facebook ad. I am cool with you just having your slogan and your logo. If you can fit a call to action on there, that's great, but don't worry about those 1 to 2 sentences. It's going to get too full. Lastly, if your image does not go off the page and it's creating an awkward space, something that beginners do sometimes is they fill that in by creating a shape and putting color in that shape. So you'll have the image in the middle of a design and then, for example, a blue box all the way around, or blue on the right and on the left. Please don't do that. Try to make your image a full bleed. If your image is almost a full bleed, it needs to be all the way a full bleed so your eye can flow off the page. Remember that very important principle of your eye being able to flow off the page and back onto the page without getting caught in those outside shapes. Okay, so hopefully that helped. Those are most of the issues that I'm running into, that I'm seeing. I know it's kind of fast and furious, a lot of don'ts. You guys are doing really well on some of the do's too, but these are the things that are going to bring you down. I just wanted to let you know while you still have quite a few days this week to work on them. All right. If you redesign your ad, you make it a little bit different than your first draft, as always, feel free to shoot me an email with your second draft and I can provide you with some more personalized feedback. Looking forward to seeing your final creative ads, guys. Bye.